Hi everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Arpita Sharma classes. Welcome to the Hindu newspaper analysis for today. That is 20th October 2020. तो 20th October 2020 के the Hindu analysis में आप सभी का स्वागत है. Today we are going to solve some previous year question papers. And also we are going to solve question papers means questions, the important questions from the newspaper which have arrived in the which have been taken in the previous year question paper also. तो आज के न्यूज़पेपर में कुछ ऐसे टॉपिक्स हैं जिसमें से पहले भी क्वेश्चन आ चुके हैं. For example 2010 and 2018 the questions were repeated, only the context was different. So we are going to solve those questions also from today's newspaper. तो इसीलिए ना करंट अफेयर्स इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड आई वुड रिकमेंड टू स्टडी द लास्ट 1.5 years करंट अफेयर्स फॉर योर अपकमिंग अटेम्प्ट. आपके आने वाले अटेम्प्ट के लिए आपको पिछले 1.5 साल के करंट अफेयर्स तो पढ़ने ही पढ़ने हैं. दोज आर मैंडेटरी. ओके, so let's start. The PDF you will get it on my Telegram channel, Simplifying UPSC with Ease. Let's start the class without any delay. Before that, here's a small announcement. There's a good news for all of you. Now, the price hike date has been extended by Unacademy Plus due to multiple requests from students. You can get your subscription now. For 10% discount, you can use code Sharma20. Now, till 24th October, the price is going to be same, but after 24th, the price are going to increase. तो देखो पहले डेट थी 20th October, राइट. पहले 20 अक्टूबर तक ही 20 अक्टूबर से प्राइस हाइक हो रहा था, बट अब उस डेट को एक्सटेंड कर दिया है. Before earlier I also announced that till 20th October you can subscribe to Unacademy Plus, because after that the price will increase. But now because of a request from the student section, we have extended that date. Now after 24th October the prices on Unacademy Plus will increase. Date has been extended. So before 24th you can get your subscription. Price आप देख सकते हो after discount. If you are taking 1 month subscription, you will have to pay 8,000 rupees. But after using this code Sharma20, you will have discount of rupees 10%. 10% का डिस्काउंट हो जाएगा. तो 800 रुपए तक का डिस्काउंट पड़ेगा, जिसमें आपको 7,200 पे करने पड़ेंगे. But if you are aiming to take subscription for 12 months, let's say, so the current price is 44,000, but after 24th October it is going to increase 49,500. And after taking discount 39,600 अभी आपको पे करने पड़ेंगे. बट अगर आप 24 अक्टूबर की डेडलाइन को मिस कर देते हो तो 44,550 पे करना पड़ेगा, राइट. सो आई एम ऑल्सो कमिंग बैक ऑन Unacademy Plus. So if you want to secure a seat in my classes also, you can subscribe to Unacademy Plus before 24th October. The prices are same. After 24th, the prices are going to increase. And you can see that special batches for UPSC CSE Mains 2020 have also been launched. जो स्पेशल बैचेस है ना मेंस 2020 के लिए, वो भी लॉन्च कर दिए हैं फॉर ऑल सेगमेंट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स, वेदर यू आर बाइलिंगुअल, यू अंडरस्टैंड बोथ हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश, Hindi medium students and for English medium students. So you can enroll now in these batches. Mission All India Rank 1 Advanced Batch Course, Lakshya All India Rank 1 Advanced Batch Course for Hindi medium students, Mission All India Rank 1 Advanced Batch Course for again English medium students. So you can subscribe to Unacademy Plus, you can use code Sharma20 and you can gain 10% discount. And I'll be present in these batches. In batches में ना मैं present होंगी, ठीक है. So you can secure a seat in my class also using this code Sharma20. Avail 10% discount and subscribe now. Let's start with the first news. पहले न्यूज से शुरू करते हैं. The first news is related to your GS paper 4. पहला जो न्यूज है ना आपका, आपने टेलीग्राम चैनल पे पोस्ट देख ही लिया होगा, right? It is related to your GS paper 4, that is ethics. Now in 2020 everything was about either the TRP scam, or you all know about coronavirus, right? Or the suicide case of a very brilliant actor of our film industry, or the you can say the framing of the people who have not been charged yet by the Supreme Court, right? तो होता क्या है, perception. A perception is created and that perception is spread via various private media channels without even investigating into the facts. All types of videos are released on YouTube, all types of news are spread on the private media channels, in the newspapers, magazines, etc. And there are many 90% of those news or of those particular articles, 90% of the times they are not verified, they are not clarified, the sources are not clarified, they are not verified from the root sources. So this is all is happening right now in 2020 in our country. अब जर्नलिज्म के एथिक्स के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आना शुरू हो गया है, राइट? पीपल हैव नाउ स्टार्टेड टू क्वेश्चन द एथिक्स ऑफ जर्नलिज्म. So here this topic is important for GS पेपर 4. इस साल 2020 में जो बच्चे पेपर लिखने वाले हैं, और if you are trying to write, you are trying to aspire for 2021 or 2022, make sure that now you are also preparing ethics from media point of view. अभी तक हम क्या करते हैं, एथिक्स को पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, गवर्नेंस, राइट, इन सभी लीडरशिप, इन सभी एस्पेक्ट से पढ़ते हैं. टिल नाउ सो फार वी हैव स्टडीड एथिक्स फ्रॉम द एस्पेक्ट ऑफ और फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ गवर्नेंस, leadership, public administration, etc. But now we also have to study ethics from the perspective of media, right? Because it has been in the limelight this year. इस साल तो ये limelight में रहा है. So what kind of question you can expect either in GS paper 2 और GS पेपर 4? किस तरीके का क्वेश्चन आप एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हो? The media does play a vital role in our democracy, and if we cannot depend on journalistic ethics, the nation is in trouble. Comment in 10 marks. Statement they have given you and they have asked for your comment, right? Statement दे दिया, आपके comment के बारे में पूछा है. That media एक बहुत ही important role play करता है democracy में, और अगर हम media पे ही उनके ethics के कारण depend नहीं कर सकते तो फिर nation trouble में है. Now why should we depend on journalistic ethics? This is the question. So here we need to understand what are journalistic ethics. ये हमारा topic है आज का, कि journalistic ethics होता क्या है आखिर. Okay. Now when we talk about media, we should remember that media is considered as the watchdog of public interest in a democracy. एक democracy में public interest कहाँ तक प्रोटेक्टेड है, कहाँ तक केयर की जा रही है उसकी, इसके ऊपर नजर कौन रखता है? मीडिया. जैसे कि सेबी जो है वॉचडॉग है ना शेयर मार्केट का, ऐसे ही मीडिया पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट का वॉचडॉग है. It is similar to SEBI. SEBI is the watchdog of the share market in India, but media is the watchdog of public interest. RBI is the watchdog of economy, financial economy, right? Media हो गया हमारा public interest का watchdog, रक्षक. ठीक है? It means it is a means by which people receive a free flow of information and ideas, and these information and ideas are very important for making intelligent self governance. अगर आपको खुद को गवर्न करना है, उसके लिए आपको आइडियाज की जरूरत है, इंफॉर्मेशन की जरूरत है, और अगर आपको अनबायस्ड इंफॉर्मेशन कोई दे रहा है तो वो है मीडिया. मीडिया का रोल क्या है? व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ मीडिया? टू प्रोवाइड अनबायस्ड इंफॉर्मेशन. It can make or unmake any individual or institution or thought, right? So the fundamental objective of journalism or the fundamental objective of media is to serve people with news, with views, with comments, with information in a very fair, in a very accurate, unbiased and decent manner and language. That is the fundamental objective or cardinal principle of media or journalism. Clear? So you can say ethics in journalism is very important. Media is the agency of people to inform them of the events of national and international importance, and based on this information we can rightfully guide ourselves financially, physically, emotionally, right? Now moving forward, आगे बढ़ते हैं. We all know about the three pillars of the democracy: judiciary, legislature, executive. But there is also a fourth pillar of democracy, that is media. हमने तीन pillars के बारे में तो पढ़ा है, judiciary हो गया, legislature हो गया, executive हो गया. But एक और pillar है जिसको fourth pillar माना जाता है democracy का, and that fourth pillar is known as media. Okay, इस fourth pillar को हम क्या बोलते हैं? हम इसको media बोलते हैं. So another point you can highlight in this question is that media is the fourth pillar in democratic countries. Media, when we talk about media, when it is providing unbiased information, it is providing justified, verifiable information, that means there should be freedom of media in a country. एक democracy में media की freedom होनी चाहिए, right? So freedom of media, it is also a part of freedom of speech. And we all know that media is a very important stakeholder in democracy, a very important investor in the democracy. Freedom of media is a part of freedom of speech, which is guaranteed by Constitution under Article 19. So what is the basic task of media? Media का basic task क्या होता है? First is to provide truthful, objective information to people for social, political, international awareness. And second, first is this objective. Second objective is to help people make an informed opinion based on these based on the different kind of objective information after creating awareness in their minds. अब देखो आपके दिमाग में awareness रहेगी कि आपके आसपास हो क्या रहा है, तभी तो आप informed opinion बना पाओगे, right? तो वो informed opinion बनाने के पीछे जो root cause है वो मीडिया है. मीडिया के थ्रू आपको इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है, चाहे वो प्रिंट मीडिया हो चाहे डिजिटल मीडिया हो, right? So media is responsible for providing unbiased, honest news. Clear? So what are the codes which are formulated to regularize the media in journal? Media को regularize करना जरूरी है. It's very important to regularize media. Why? Because after privatization, the mainstream media has become corporatized, right? So because of this corporatization after privatization, the media, it is spreading a paid news. There has been a media trial. It has become a voice of corporates. Also, it has been playing a politically partisan role, right? So to avoid all this, there are codes which are formulated to regularize the media in journal. What are the codes? First is responsibility. Right of newspaper to attract and hold readers is restricted by nothing but considerations of public welfare. So first code, code which is on the basis of responsibility means that the media has the responsibility of considering the public welfare first. Public comes first. In that light, the media needs to spread the correct information which has been verified, which is truthful, which is unbiased. Second is freedom of press. It is guarded as a vital right of media. So that means a journalist should not be under pressure. The journalist should never compromise, right? Third, independence. Freedom from all obligations except that of fidelity to the public interest is vital. That requires sincerity, truthfulness and accuracy, because all these three pillars enable media to have a good rapport with the reader. And fourth code is fair play. Fair play means being ethical in the print media. So these are the codes which are formulated to regularize the media in general. You have to remember these codes. So in this news, Delhi High Court directed the Z Media Corporation Limited to submit an affidavit disclosing the source of its news report on an alleged disclosure statement of Jamia Millia Islamia student Asif Iqbal Tanna, who was arrested in a case related to the Feb riots. Now another question that they can ask you in GS paper 4 to GS paper 2 is, media is labelled as the fourth pillar of democracy. In this context, discuss the importance of media ethics in contemporary times. आज के टाइम पे मीडिया एथिक्स की कितनी जरूरत है, ये तो बहुत easy question है. You can quote so many cases which have happened or which have occurred in 2020 to support your answer. That yes, we require media ethics right now. इस समय हमें media ethics की कितनी जरूरत है, इसके हजारों cases आपको मिल जाएंगे 2020 में. First of all, you should mention the duties of a journalist. What are the duties of a journalist? First duty is upholding the truth. That means upholding the truth means verifying the information. How can you uphold the truth? By verification. Through verification. The facts that you are presenting, verify them. Role as watchdog. That means the journalist should be, write it down, truly independent from government. Forum for public discussion and unbiased reporting. Unbiased reporting means the journalist should remove conflict of interest. That means the news he or she is reporting should not have the vested interest of the journalist, or else he or she will provide biased information. Second, the journalist should present all the sides, the negative and the positive of a particular news. Okay. So these are the duties of the journalist. Now, forum for public discussion. Now, in case of Republic TV, you can see that the host just keeps on shouting. That forum is not meant for public discussion, where the host is shouting and he never lets the other person speak, right? So that is not considered to be a public discussion forum. Forum for public discussion means everybody has the right to put their opinion, put their views, on the basis of which a fair discussion should lead, right? So what are the ethics of journalism? Now ethics of journalism की जब हम बात करते हैं, first is accuracy and fact based. That means verification of facts should be there. Facts का verification होना चाहिए. Only the verified facts should be presented. Okay. It also means that the journalist cannot guarantee the truth, but getting facts right is cardinal principle of journalism, which cannot be compromised. Second is independence, which means disclosure. Independence का मतलब क्या हो जाएगा? Disclosure. That means the journalist should never compromise and should not be under any pressure. Third is fairness and impartial. That is, the facts should be fair. They should be impartial. They should not be siding with some corporation or government. Fourth is humanity. Humanity means focusing on the vulnerable section. Why focusing on the vulnerable section? Because the people who can afford, who have the means, the resources, the money, they can afford justice for themselves. But what about the vulnerable sections, the poor, the SC, the STs? The journalist should strive to cover the vulnerable section as priority. Fifth is accountability and transparency. So these are the ethics of journalism that a journalist should follow. Now, what are the ethical issues which are involved in journalism or in media? First is collection of information. Collection of information means, write it down, the primary and authentic sources. The primary and authentic sources. That means only the primary and authentic original sources should be used while collecting information to spread it or pass it on the print through the print media or the digital media. Second, politically partisan and voice of corporates. These two are the reasons which have killed neutrality in India. ये दो reasons हैं जिन्होंने neutrality को खत्म कर दिया है भारत में. Right? Politically partisan and voice of corporates. We all know that right now the media advocates the political party, right? And we all know that after privatization, the mainstream media became corporatized. After privatization, that means media privatization के बाद क्या हुआ मीडिया के साथ कि वो corporatized हो गई. The corporate houses framed their own media houses. That means the control went to the corporate houses. And the revenue also went to the corporate houses, but this revenue was dependent on the government. Why the government? Because we all know that in India, the biggest advertiser is the government, right? So the media houses depend on the government. So that is why they have to present the government, the ruling government, in a positive light. Because the biggest advertisements come from the government only. Because government is the biggest advertiser in India. Next is media trial and paid news. We all know about media trial, right? What is media trial? That before the judgment comes from the Supreme Court or High Court, the judgment comes from the media houses. ठीक है, तो ये अपना परसेप्शन बना लेते हैं. उसी परसेप्शन के बेसिस में किसी को गिल्टी करार कर देते हैं या किसी को इनोसेंट करार कर देते हैं. This means that the media, on the basis of their own perception, can term anybody guilty or anybody innocent. That is the media trial which is going on right now. And the next ethical issue is paid news. Paid news means that after an individual or a corporate house pays the news channels to cover their image in a positive light, right? And they do so, the media houses do so, in the disguise of or in the pretext of you can say very just news article. You cannot differentiate between an advertisement of a person and a news article. राइट तो पेड न्यूज में क्या होता है कि जो इंडिविजुअल्स कॉर्पोरेशंस हैं वो पैसे देती हैं मीडिया चैनल्स को ताकि वो उनको अच्छे लाइट में अच्छे यू कैन से तरीके से फॉर्म में प्रदर्शित कर सके लोगों के सामने. हम कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं, हमें समझ ही नहीं आता कि ये इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज आर्टिकल है या ये किसी पर्सनल इंसान का किसी का पर्सनल एडवर्टाइजमेंट हो रहा है. Right? So these are the ethical issues which are involved in media houses. So this is a very important article that I have also uploaded on my Telegram channel on media ethics by G.N. Ray. एक बहुत ही बढ़िया article है. Please go through this article. This is going to give you insights on writing answers in GS paper 4 on media ethics. So I have uploaded this already. मैंने दोपहर में ही इसको upload कर दिया था Telegram channel पे Simplifying UPSC with Ease. Go through this article. This is very important article on media ethics. The next important news Many gains in fighting HIV related to GS paper 2 health के ऊपर है. Now I was talking about the previous year questions ना. The questions have been taken from this article. In 2018 and 2010, two questions on the same topic HIV were taken. Question number 1 from 2018's paper. Which of the following statements is not correct? कौन सा statement correct नहीं है, गलत है? Hepatitis B virus is transmitted much like HIV. Hepatitis B, unlike, no, this statement is correct, okay? Hepatitis B, unlike hepatitis C, does not have a vaccine. This is incorrect. It has a vaccine, right? Hepatitis B का तो vaccine है. So this statement is incorrect. Correct option will be B. C and D are correct. C option भी correct है आपका और D option भी आपका correct है. Similarly, you have to attempt this question of 2010. Hepatitis B is several times more infectious than HIV/AIDS. Hepatitis B can cause liver cancer, right? तो इसके अंदर कौन सा बहुत easy question है, जल्दी से आंसर कर दीजिए इसको comment section में. You have to answer it in the comment section. Okay? This is your homework question. ये आपका homework question हो गया. Now let us understand this article. Now, in this challenging moment when we are confronted with one of the biggest health emergencies in our history, COVID-19 pandemic, we find a strength in gains we are making despite this disruption. So there has been a new revised estimate, 2019 estimate, HIV estimates, which has been released by National AIDS Control Organization, which is under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare with the technical support of UNAIDS. तो एक 2019 का नेशनल हेल्थ एस्टिमेट रिलीज हुआ है एचआईवी के ऊपर, ठीक है, जिसके अंदर कुछ रिडक्शंस देखने को मिली हैं. दैट इज व्हाई दिस आर्टिकल इज टर्म्ड एज मेनी गेन्स इन फाइटिंग एचआईवी, राइट? सो व्हाट इज दिस आर्टिकल ऑल अबाउट? व्हाट आर द एस्टिमेट्स दैट हैव बीन पास्ड? Recently released estimates, HIV estimates अभी 2019 के रिलीज हुए हैं by National AIDS Control Organization, which is a division of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare with the technical support of UNAIDS. So the estimate says that there has been a 66.1% reduction in new HIV infections among children and 65.3% reduction in AIDS-related deaths in India over a 9-year period. So there has been progress in reducing HIV impact on children through prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV. Now this is again important point for prelims. Mother-to-child transmission of HIV is possible, but there has been a reduce or you can say reduction in such transmission cases. 2019 का जो estimate निकला है उसमें reduction देखी गई है, ठीक है? Next, also the number of pregnant women living with HIV has reduced and treatment coverage has also expanded. So what were the steps which are highlighted over here? ये यहाँ पर इस paragraph में highlight किए गए हैं. This is the paragraph that we are discussing, right? The fast tracking of EMTCT, that is elimination of mother to child transmission strategy cum action plan of National AIDS Control Organization. What is the aim of this plan? इस plan का aim क्या है? To achieve EMTCT, right, which has been instrumental in mobilizing all national, state and partners collective efforts. Now this progress which have been seen in reducing the mother to child transmission of HIV, it is mainly attributed to education and communication programs. Mothers have become more aware, increased access to HIV services, the treatment with innovative delivery mechanisms for HIV testing, counseling and care, and treatment and the follow-ups. India had made HIV testing for all pregnant women free. भारत में हर प्रेग्नेंट महिला के लिए HIV टेस्टिंग को फ्री बना दिया गया है. And HIV treatment is offered the same way nationwide without cost to pregnant mothers living with HIV through the National Treat All policy. So you have to remember what is the National Treat All policy all about. Okay, under which HIV testing is provided free of cost to the pregnant women. Clear? So over here you can say that despite the impressive progress which had been made so far, there remains a need for increased treatment saturation coverage also. Additional information इस केस में आएगा कि एक 1990 strategy है जो कि आपके previous year question papers में भी पूछी गई है. This has been asked many times in mains, right? ये mains में पूछी जाती है GS paper 2 में. What is this strategy? It is the treatment which is targeted to help end the AIDS epidemics. AIDS को खत्म करना इसका टारगेट है. ओके, नाउ वन थिंग यू नीड टू रिमेंबर दैट HIV एंड AIDS आर नॉट सेम. HIV और AIDS जो हैं वो सेम नहीं होते. ठीक है, ये बात याद रखना. Now I'll explain you why HIV and AIDS are not same. As you can see that human immunodeficiency virus, that is the HIV, it attacks the CD4. What is CD4? It is a type of WBC, that is white blood cell, also known as T cell in body's immune system. T cells are those cells which move around the body detecting the anomalies and infections in cells. So upon entering, when the HIV, when it enters, upon entering, it attacks CD4 and it multiplies itself. It destroys the CD4 cells and it damages the human immune system. And CD4 count reduces after HIV enters. But if this CD4 count, that is the number of cells, the CD4 cells, if it falls below 200 cubic millimeter, it causes AIDS. That is why we say that HIV and AIDS, they are not same. दोनों ही same नहीं है, right? Because HIV, by receiving treatment, right, the severe HIV can be prevented. But in case of AIDS, the immunity gets compromised at such a high level that even minor infections start to threaten your body. Okay, so that is all about this article. Now let us understand various different treatment of AIDS. First is the antiretroviral therapy. पहला हो जाता है आपका ART. Now it's a combination of antiretroviral drugs to maximally suppress the HIV virus and stop its progression and to prevent onward transmission of HIV. Now this ARV is also given to HIV patients irrespective of the CD4 count. Okay, so this is very important point. एक statement बहुत important है because they can twist the statement and ask you to identify which statement is incorrect. Statements को twist करके आपसे पूछ सकते हैं, ठीक है? Second, stem cell transplant. Now, so recently a bone marrow transplant was done to a HIV patient from a HIV resistant donor. So what is HIV resistant donor? A person who has HIV but has no symptoms. That is HIV है but symptoms नहीं है कोई भी, right? तो वो HIV resistant donor होता है. He has been cured with CCR5 delta 32 technique. Now what is CCR delta 532 technique? It is, the full form is cysteine chemokine receptor 5. Now what is chemokine over here? Whenever your finger is burned or somebody pinches you, right? जब भी क्या होता है कि आपका फिंगर बर्न होता है या कोई पिंच करता है, राइट, सो अ सिग्नल इज पास टू योर ब्रेन दैट यू हैव बीन बर्न्ड और यू हैव बीन पिंच्ड और यू हैव बीन स्लैप्ड, राइट, दैट सिग्नल इज कैरिड बाय केमोकाइन. वो सिग्नल कौन ऊपर तक पहुंचाता है? केमोकाइन तक, केमोकाइन पहुंचाता है, राइट. सो केमोकाइन इज इन्वॉल्व्ड इन सिग्नलिंग द बॉडीज इन्फ्लेमेशन रिस्पॉन्स टू द इंजरीज, दैट इज केमोकाइन. ये हो गया आपका केमोकाइन, ठीक है. तो दीज पॉइंट्स ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ एड्स के अंदर ये पॉइंट्स जो हैं, दीज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. क्लियर? Another initiative of government is the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria. It was founded in 2002, partnership between government, civil society, private sector, and also covered under SDG goals 3.3. By 2030, they have aimed to reduce or to eliminate AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria. तो Sustainable Development Goals 3.3 आपको पढ़ने ही पढ़ने हैं, ठीक है. This is again very important fact for prelims. The next important news, warehousing scheme for farmers related to GS paper 3. An agro warehousing scheme is coming up near Jaipur. It is set to benefit the farmers who will get the facilities of storage, weighing, testing and certification of produce in proximity to their agricultural fields. So what is Warehousing Development and Regulatory Authority in this case? Warehousing Development and Regulatory Authority was established under the Warehousing Development and Regulation Act of 2007. When we talk about the function of this authority, it functions under Department of Food and Public Distribution, which is under Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. This is important for prelims. You need to remember the department's name and the ministry's name. No person shall commence or carry on the business of warehousing, issuing negotiable warehouse receipts, unless he has obtained a registration certificate after fulfilling the prescribed norms in respect of concerned warehouse or warehouses granted by authority under the Act. So not anybody can carry out this warehousing business, only those who have received the registration certificates. And what is the benefit of negotiable warehouse receipt? It is issued by the Warehousing Development and Regulation Act. It will help the farmers to seek loans from banks against the receipts, to avoid distressed sales of agricultural produce during the peak marketing season, and to avoid post harvest storage loss. तो ये 3 reasons हैं क्यों ये receipts जरूरी हैं. Why these receipts are important? These are the 3 reasons. Next important topic, Center set to ask at least 8 PSUs to consider buybacks. India has asked at least 8 state-run companies to consider share buybacks in the fiscal year. So what is buyback? This is important for prelims. Buyback is a procedure that enables a company to purchase its shares from its existing shareholders, usually at a price near to or higher than the prevailing market price. When a company buys back, it reduces its outstanding shares in the market, which increases the percentage of shareholding for the remaining shareholders. Because बाकी के existing shareholder से buyback कर लिया तो जितने रहते हैं उनका जो share है, percentage है वो बढ़ जाएगा. ठीक है? Now, mechanism for buyback of shares. In a buyback, company generally offers its shareholders an option to tender a portion of their shares, that is, to give a portion of their share within a certain time period to the company. Why buyback is done? To enable the promoters to increase their stakes in the company, to improve earnings per share, to provide additional exit route to shareholders. देखो कुछ shareholders को मान लो shares छोड़ने हैं, नहीं रखने हैं, right? तो इस केस में कंपनी उन shares को परचेज कर लेती है ताकि वो shareholders भी मुक्त हो जाएं और कंपनीज की reputation भी गिरे ना, right? So these are the various reasons which you need to remember for prelims. They can give you statement wise questions on buyback of shares. So this was all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's class. अगर आज की class अच्छी लगी हो, do let me know in the comment section. Do like the video, share the video with other aspirants. Also, you can subscribe to Unacademy Plus now because after 24th, the prices are going to increase, right? So subscribe now. Take all the advantages and benefits of Unacademy Plus. Thank you.